It was 12:12 a.m. when the phone buzzed across the silent penthouse. The city slept far below, wrapped in drifting rain and glowing streetlights. Billionaire Lucas Hale stood at the window, staring at a life that looked perfect from the outside and empty from within. Unknown number. He almost ignored it. Almost. Something in his chest tightened for reasons he couldn't explain. He answered. A tiny, trembling voice rushed through the speaker. Please, my mommy won't wake up. Time seemed to freeze. Lucas straightened instantly, every trace of exhaustion vanishing. Hey, it's okay. You did the right thing calling. What's your name, sweetheart? Mila, the little girl whispered. She fell, she won't open her eyes. I'm scared. Lucas closed his eyes, steadying his breath. You're not alone anymore, Mila. I'm right here with you. As she spoke, small details slipped out, an apartment above a shop, a red door, a humming refrigerator. And then something made his heart stumble. He heard a familiar name whispered in the background. The name of a woman who had disappeared from his life 5 years ago. His hand began to shake. Mila, is your mom's name by any chance? Elena? Silence. Then a soft, shocked breath. Yes, you know my mommy? Lucas grabbed his keys without another word. Listen to me carefully. I'm coming to you right now. Stay on the phone with me. Don't hang up. I promise you, everything is going to change tonight. And with that promise echoing through the dark city, he ran toward a destiny he never saw coming. Rain streaked across Lucas's windshield as the city unraveled into long ribbons of light. The voice of the little girl stayed in his ear, soft and brave, giving him strength with every fragile word. I'm still here, Mila whispered as if afraid silence might swallow her. Lucas kept talking so she wouldn't feel alone. About the stars, about brave kids, about how strong she already was. But inside his world was shaking. Elena. The name hadn't left his heart in 5 years. She had vanished with no warning, no explanation, only unanswered calls and a silence that refused to heal. And now her child was calling him in the middle of the night. Mila, he said gently, can you sit next to your mom for me? I am, she replied. She feels cold. Lucas tightened his grip on the steering wheel. It's okay. Put your hand on her chest and tell me if you feel her breathing. There was a pause. His heart thundered in his ears. It's moving, she said softly. Relief nearly brought him to tears. That's very good, he said, his voice unsteady with emotion. You're doing such an amazing job. As he drove faster, memories rushed in, Elena's quiet smile, the way she always believed in him before he believed in himself. The woman he let go in pursuit of success. The woman who now needed him when he least deserved a second chance. A red door appeared ahead, glowing under a dim streetlight. Lucas's hands trembled as he parked. Mila, he whispered, heartbreaking and healing at the same time, I'm at your door. The door opened just a little at first, as if the night itself were nervous. Then Mila's small face appeared, eyes wide and shining with tears she had tried so hard to hold back. She stood barefoot on the cold floor, clutching a worn stuffed rabbit to her chest as if it were her shield. Lucas knelt instantly so he wouldn't tower over her. Hi, brave girl, he said softly. You did everything right. She searched his face for a second, then whispered, You really came. He nodded. I promised. Inside the apartment, time felt slower. The air was still, heavy with worry and waiting. Elena lay on the floor, peaceful but pale, as if sleep had taken her too far. Lucas's breath caught. For years he had imagined this reunion, angry words, painful questions, maybe forgiveness. He had never imagined this silence. Talk to her, Mila said suddenly. Sometimes she listens when I tell her stories. Lucas swallowed hard and took Elena's hand. Elena, he whispered, voice breaking through the space between past and present. You always said miracles happen when people least expect them. I'm here now. Mila crawled close and placed her tiny hand over both of theirs. In that fragile circle of hands, something shifted. Fear began to loosen its grip, and hope quietly took its place. Outside, distant sirens drew closer, unaware that 3 hearts inside were already beating toward something greater than fear. A second chance none of them had planned for, yet all of them desperately needed. Footsteps sounded on the stairwell, hurried but steady, and the quiet room suddenly filled with purposeful movement. The helpers spoke in calm, firm voices as they worked, their presence bringing a strange sense of safety into the small apartment. Mila stayed pressed close to Lucas, her small fingers wrapped tightly around his sleeve. Every time someone moved near her mother, she flinched. Lucas bent close and whispered reassurance in her ear, promising her that she was not alone, not anymore. As they gently lifted Elena, her eyelids fluttered faintly. Mila gasped. "Mama?" she whispered, hope trembling in her voice. Elena didn't speak, but the faint movement was enough to ignite light in the child's eyes. Lucas felt his chest tighten with emotion. In that instant he realized how easily life could slip away, and how fiercely it could also hold on. Outside, the rain had softened into a gentle mist. Lucas carried Mila in his arms as they followed, her head resting against his chest, her breath warm against his heart. "Are you rich?" she asked suddenly in a quiet, honest voice. The question startled a small laugh out of him. "Some people think so," he replied. "But tonight I think I'm the luckiest person alive." As the doors closed and the night pulled them forward, Lucas felt the weight of the past lift just enough for something new to begin. Whatever waited at the end of this road, he knew one truth with startling clarity: this moment had changed him forever. Hours passed in soft, restless waves of waiting. The quiet room glowed under dim lights, and the air felt fragile, as if even sound might disturb fate. Mila sat curled beside Lucas, her eyelids heavy but determined to stay open. Every few minutes she whispered, "Is Mama waking up now?" And every time Lucas answered with gentle honesty, never letting his voice lose hope. While they waited, Mila asked questions in the innocent way only a child could. Why was the sky dark? Why did grown-ups cry when they were happy? Why did her mom sometimes stare out the window like she was looking for something far away? Each question struck Lucas like a quiet echo of words Elena used to say long ago. Piece by piece, the years that had vanished between them began stitching themselves back together. At last, slow footsteps approached. A calm voice spoke softly to Lucas, and he felt his heart steady instead of race. Good news followed, quiet, careful but full of promise. Mila's hands flew to her mouth. "So Mama will come back to me?" she asked. Lucas kneeled beside her, meeting her shining eyes. "She already is," he said. Mila threw her arms around his neck with a strength far bigger than her small body. In that simple embrace, Lucas felt something he had chased his whole life without knowing its name: meaning. Not money. Not success. Meaning. And for the first time in many years he stopped running. Morning arrived quietly, not with noise or celebration, but with a soft light slipping through the wide window and touching everything with promise. Mila was the first to notice. She sat up straight, eyes wide with sudden excitement. "It's morning," she whispered, as if afraid to scare the moment away. Lucas followed her gaze and felt something warm settle deep in his chest. For the first time that night, the darkness no longer felt endless. When Elena's eyes finally opened, the world seemed to pause. She blinked slowly, confused at first, then her gaze found Mila. The child froze as if she couldn't quite believe what she was seeing. "Mama?" she whispered. Elena's lips curved into the faintest smile. "I'm here, baby." Mila's joy burst free in a sound halfway between a laugh and a cry as she rushed forward, wrapping her arms around her mother like she might fade if she let go. Lucas stood back at first, unsure of his place in this miracle. Then Elena's eyes found him. Surprise flickered, followed by something softer: recognition, relief, unfinished emotion. He stepped closer, not as a billionaire, not as a man of power, but simply as someone who had answered a call when it mattered most. That single midnight moment rewrote every path ahead. By the time the sun rose fully, 3 lives were no longer moving alone. Sometimes destiny doesn't knock. Sometimes it cries through a phone at 12:12 a.m., and if you choose to listen, it leads you home.